Qala Imlala, Hayanaw Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Hamashiach, Wamalakia Bahashim, Harawat, Wakakurash, Barakatham, the water Baba Bar, Wakwam Yasharala. Double honor to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone, who teach us daily. To the men out there teaching the likewise doctrine that say Shalom. Today we're going to get into the madness / insanity of Esau Edom. And I might call this video Edomocrity because it's the stupidity of the base man who thinks he's making sense. Now, I got a couple videos I'm gonna show y'all. And it's all about the trans people. Now, these videos, well, one of the dudes, he wants to change it to a woman just to get an abortion. So, in essence, he wants to turn into a woman just to have death in his body. This is the insanity of Esau Edom that they want you to accept as being normal. The other video I got is about a bunch of these mass shootings were done by trans people. Now, don't try to spin this like I'm transphobic. I don't give a fuck about those people. I'm doing this video to state the facts of who's dangerous and who's not. Now, this media has gone above and beyond to try to label migrants, who count for less than 1% of the crimes in this country, they're the most dangerous. No, when history shows to this day that the most dangerous people on this planet are Edomites with guns. So when is this government going to address the real terrorists of this country? They're not, because they don't want to show Edomites in a negative light. Well, guess what? Y'all doing it anyway. Everybody's not going to have cognitive dissonance when talking about this issue. Everybody's not going to turn a blind eye and pretend that Edomites with guns are not dangerous. They want you to believe that migrants, once again, which makes up less than 1% of the violent crimes in this country, they want you to believe that they are the threat. No. The threat always has been Edomites with guns. Now, let me get the video, then we're gonna break down some scriptures. Check this out. It says, a trans woman wants to be the first recipient of a uterus transplant to be the first trans woman to have an abortion. What kind of madness is this? This is what this country is producing, a bunch of fucking weirdos. I'm going to show y'all what I'm talking about.
Save the worst for last. Here is a trans activist desperate to get a uterus transplant, not because they want to give birth, but because they want to get an abortion.
Trans woman to have a successful uterus transplant. Ovaries and eggs included.
This dude look like that vampire from the cartoons. They want you to accept this is normal. People like this.
And I want to be the first trans woman to have an abortion.
I am so tired of these stupid mother...
And I've saved the worst for last. Here is a trans activist desperate to get a uterus transplant, not because they want to give birth, but because they want to get an abortion.
Trans woman to have a successful uterus transplant, ovaries and eggs included. And I want to be the first trans woman to have an abortion.
Now, I got another one. Check this out. Trans homicide suspect arrested after 2 women found murdered in New York apartments. There's more. Homeless man wearing blonde wig, smeared makeup, and pearls is busted for trying to kidnap child. This is the madness they want you to accept as normal. Trans killer sentenced to 22 years for slaying a Portland cab driver. Look at the demons on it. Look in his eyes. This is what this country is producing on purpose. These idiots. Nashville school shooter Audrey Hale, identified as transgender and had detailed manifesto to attack Christian Academy. What's in his hand? A goddamn gun. But these are not the biggest threats of the nation. Edomites in general are a threat. There's no talking to these people. And I'm going to tell you why, because their insane minds are made up when they get up in the morning that they're going out to pretend that they're something that they're not. Their minds are made up. So they want you to feed into their delusion. And when you don't, you must be homophobic. No, we're not stupid. We see a man, not a woman. But because that the whole world doesn't evolve around you and doesn't buy into your delusion, society is the problem and not your crazy ass. People are insane. Trans-identifying man stabs homeless shelter employee until her internal organs were exposed. See? Now, mind you, that these people are probably having chemical imbalances in their body. Because while they're taking estrogen to try to change themselves into a woman, their body is still producing testosterone until they chop their nuts off of some shit. But yeah, and then guess what? China's about to cut us off. You know what comes from China? Drugs, pharmaceuticals, hospital equipment. So when these people start having withdrawals from their meds, quote unquote, it's going to get worse. Let's go. Transgender teen arrested for planning Valentine's Day school shooting was inspired by Parkland killer docs. So when is the government going to start deporting these violent Americans? Never. Because they're Edom. The government's job is to paint all the other nations as being a problem, not them. So this is going to continue, and it's going to spiral out of control because Esau turns a blind eye to his own wickedness. But he'll lie on you, though, in a minute. Oregon police seized 28 guns from trans women who allegedly threatened Jews, others. So, White House, when are you going to address this elephant in the room? You got a bunch of wackos who thinking they're something they're not, running around the country shooting people. But they're not the biggest threat. Well, stop. Let's keep going. The case of the radical Zizian vegan trans coat and a shooting death of a Border Patrol agent. This insanity is normal for Esau because he's insane anyway. He's a base man. And this is in his nature to be gay. It's in his nature. To be bi, it's in his nature. To commit bestiality is in his nature. To commit pedophilia is in his nature. Trans suspect accused of killing Pennsylvania officer was earlier released without bail by leftist non-binary judge. See, now they're infiltrating the courts. This same species of Edomite is now in your court systems. and the NGO reports. Violent Portland Trantifa member under investigation for death threats against city council member and Andy NGO. See, you see the weirdos this country is creating on purpose. He got a cross on his head and a knife in his hand. Oh, it's an upside down cross, so you know what he all about. That's Satanism all day. That's what this country breeds, Satanists. Because if you're not following Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, you are following Satan by default. If you hate Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, you are in league with Satan by default. There's only two forces in this world. Transgender teen sentenced to life in prison for deadly Colorado school shooting. So when they going to address the real terrorists of this country? Instead of lying on everybody else. They're not, because they were not created to be righteous. They were created to be wickedness. You see the product of Esau's insanity. Transgender serial rapists kill 5 women, 1 infant as sexual fetishes escalate. These are the demons created by Esau Edom, created by this government. Now, we can come out of this. Now, was it me? Or was all we saw was Edomites? So who's the problem? Who is the problem? The world has figured that out. Who's the problem? Edom. Hold on, y'all. Let me plug this computer up. Oh, that ain't it. Edom is the problem. Always has been. Now, okay, we good. Had to plug up the computer. Let's get some scriptures, man, because I mean, let's start with First Corinthians. Chapter 3, verse 19. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with Yahweh. They call this wisdom. So that shows you right there how base they are. This is not wisdom. This is madness and insanity. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with Yahweh. For it is written, he have taken the wise in their own craftiness. They thought they was on the level by doing this, but no, you just showing how stupid you are. Yeah, the wisdom of this world is foolishness. And I got another one. Hold on. Here we go. For all y'all thinking this some high-tech next generation shit. No, this is wickedness. The book of Sirach, chapter 19, verse 22. The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence. No, this is not wisdom. This is madness. This is what Esau specializes in. Madness, insanity. But he expects you to go along with it. And if you don't, you the problem. You see why the Lord gonna get rid of this man? Let's get another one. I think it's in the book of Hebrews. Yep. Book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Profane means outside the temple. Means the Lord ain't dealing with you. You know. Job chapter 30, verse 8. They were children of fools. They are children of base men. They were viler than the earth. It don't get no viler just to change yourself to a woman just to have an abortion. What kind of evil are you on? So you want to put your legs in the air and let a doctor go up in you with the jaws of life and cut up an infant inside you. That's your fantasy. The Lord is going to rid the earth of all these sick people, especially the sick of Edom. Edom got to go. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. He's off. He was created to be off. The Lord created the perfect fuck up when he created Esau, Edom, because he goes against the scriptures in every way on purpose. So yeah, the Lord created the perfect fuck up, Esau, Edom. It's no coincidence that everything these people touch turn to shit. Everywhere these people go, death, violence, destruction, insanity, madness follows. You know. That one ain't it. Let me get this one. Oh yeah, this is it. Romans chapter 1, we'll start at verse 26. For this cause Yahweh gave them up unto vile affections. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. Where did that start at? Edom. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burning their own lust one toward another, men with men working that which is unseemingly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meet. And even as they did not like to retain Yahweh in their knowledge, Yahweh gave them over to a reprobate mind to do the things which are not convenient, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers. Verse 30, backbiters, haters of Yahweh, despiteful, proud boasters. Listen to this. Inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents. Now, the thing in this is, what are they guilty of? Wickedness, murder, because he wants to murder an infant. Inventors of evil things, proud, thinking they on a level. Verse 31, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, without natural affection. The Lord did not give these people empathy. That's why they hold the record for murder right now. Always has. Mass murder, genocide. No empathy. The Lord didn't give them empathy. Verse 32, who know in the judgment of Yahweh that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. See? You can't make them right. They were created to be the wicked. You can't erase their programming. You don't have administrative privileges to go in and change the program. The Lord created them for a purpose, to be wicked, to punish us, to destroy their own kingdom, and to rebuild ours for free. That's the only purpose of Esau. Now let's go here. First Timothy chapter 6, verse 20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science, falsely so called. They call this science. This is not science. This is wickedness. This is sorcery and madness, all rolled into one. Because why? Because two women together does not bring forth life. Two men together does not bring forth life. This is not a lifestyle. This is a death style. Because what comes with it? Disease, number one. And those terminal diseases will lead you to your death. You're not bringing forth life. You're spreading death. Get this one. James chapter 1, verse 8, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You were born a man, now you want to be a woman, now you want to transition back. And then now they got a term called transition remorse, where people regret getting their rod and balls chopped off. They want to go back. Madness. Let me get, let's go here. Book of Nahum, chapter 3, verse 5. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. This is very shameful. Verse 6, and I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock. That's why all the other nations are looking at this country like, what the fuck y'all doing over there? Yeah, this country is vile and is a gazing stock. Get this one. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. They say this is a good thing. This is advances in science that's going to lead to nowhere, a dead-end road. But at the same time, they waste billions and billions on doing this shit, which will lead to nothing and come to naught. That's how foolish Esau is. Matter of fact, they spent 40 million on trying to make animals trans, part of the trans community. Madness. This is the mad scientist. That's why these animals gonna get some payback too. All these years Esau had, animal torture, animal experimentation, unnecessary, I mean, just murdering animals for the fuck of it. Yeah, them animals gonna get payback too. We get a couple more and close. Let's go here. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 15. The way of the fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearken unto counsel is wise. Yeah, that's a fool because in his eyes, he's right. And he said he ain't have a reason for doing it. He just want to do it. You just want to murder. You just want to have a doctor murder an infant inside of you just cause. Madness. Okay, let's go to go to Romans. What is it? Romans chapter. It's not in Romans. Let's go to 1 Timothy. Chapter 6. Verse 4. He is proud, knowing nothing. He don't know shit. He just like to talk a good one and try to sound, he like to sound convincing so that you'll believe his bullshit regardless of what it is. He's mastered that. That's why he's called an actor. He is proud, knowing nothing, but dotting about questions and strifes of words, wherefore cometh envy, strife, railings, evil surmisings, perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. From such withdraw thyself. Stay away from these people. Corrupt minds, destitute of the truth. Yeah, that's them. They don't want to deal with the truth. They want you to deal with their delusion. They want you to accept their delusion as reality. No, we're not doing that. You're just going to stay the fuck away from your crazy ass. And all the Edomites just like you. Now let's get one more. We can close. Go to Jeremiah. Verse 7, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? His counsel perished from the prudent, is their wisdom vanished? And the answer is hell. Yeah, they never had it. Because why? The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. That's why I read that scripture. Verse 10, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, his neighbor, and he is not. He the one doing the spoiling. Spoil mean to rob. Now, when it says that he had made Esau bare, he is exposed this base man for who he is, not for the persona he puts on. He tried to paint himself as wise, all-knowing, good, clean, wholesome. He is the exact opposite. He hates the Lord because he knows the Lord hates him. That's why he does everything contradictory to the Bible on purpose. So guess what? The Lord is not going to argue with your ass. He's just going to put you to work for 1,000 years, and he's going to get rid of your ass. Ain't going to be no talking, no debate, no dispute, none of that shit. And the world's going to rejoice when the very last Edomite is gone. Call all Lala, Hayanaw Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, Wa Malakia Bahashem, Harawat Wakakodash, Barakathum, the water Baba Wa Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.